So the Sunday Business Post did a special investigation into payments by the pharmaceutical companies to doctors, hospitals and health organisations. Some of this data that they use is publicly available, and other data was found through Freedom of Information requests. They also interviewed whistleblowers and experts in the field. Quite shockingly, what they found was that in 2015, the pharmaceutical companies in Ireland paid Irish doctors, hospitals and health organisations a total of 17 million euros. Now that money was not paid for research and development, that's separate. This is money that goes towards education of doctors, speaking fees and travel expenses, maybe to conferences, etc., which I presume includes the hotel as well. They also discovered dozens of medical posts, doctors and nurses funded directly by the pharmaceutical industry operating in Irish hospitals. Now, if the pharmaceutical companies that are funding these posts, paying the wages of these doctors and nurses, it's obvious then that they're going to prescribe their drugs, because if they didn't, they wouldn't be funded, they wouldn't be in the job. It's kind of obvious, but just to say, just in case you don't realise, if the post is funded by the pharmaceutical industry, then obviously they're going to prescribe their drugs. They're strategically placed where the drugs that are required, or maybe where there's a competition, or where they're trying to break into the market. So these posts are in hospitals. So when you go into a hospital, you're feeling very vulnerable. You end up on a bed and there's a doctor standing there in front of you and you're looking up at him. You got to really think, is he working for the pharmaceutical industry? Is he paid by the pharmaceutical industry? Or is he receiving payments from the pharmaceutical industry? And if you can answer all those questions before he gives you his medication, then you can maybe trust that he's working for you, because you're the taxpayer who has paid his wages. The investigation also discovered that there was millions of euros paid to Irish hospitals that wasn't accounted for. The hospitals couldn't account for it. It's not completely transparent. So if there's millions of euros still unaccounted for, then there's much more to this story than we already know, than the facts that are presented in this investigation. Shockingly, it goes on, and more shockingly it gets. There's also 33 lead clinical posts in the health system in Ireland. Top doctors in their field, specialists whose job is to lead the policy development in their area, with the best evidence, the scientific evidence, the evidence-based medicine that they keep saying is the top valued evidence. Now, these doctors are trusted and paid by the state to give and deliver the best medicine and the best healthcare to us, the patients. However, this investigation found that at least 10, which is a third of these posts, were receiving money from pharmaceutical companies. So if a third of the lead clinical posts who are responsible for the implementation of policy are receiving money from the pharmaceutical industry, can you really trust that these doctors are giving you the best healthcare? The investigation found that there was 3,005 payments from the pharmaceutical companies to individual named doctors. This information is publicly available. Doctors voluntarily disclosed this information, and they found there was thousands of other payments where doctors didn't want to disclose that they were in receipt of payments, because it's a reputation thing. Doctors don't really want the public to know that they're receiving benefits or payments from pharmaceutical companies, because then there's a conflict of interest. They're not operating out of the best clinical research or the best clinical practice. They're operating out of what the pharmaceutical companies tell them, and that's not good. There was also 1,370 individual payments to individual hospitals and healthcare organisations. So again, not only are individual doctors being targeted, but systems of healthcare are being targeted and funded and influenced by the pharmaceutical industry. And if the pharmaceutical industry could be trusted, then maybe that's a good thing. But I leave that up to you if you trust the pharmaceutical industry, or the second most profiting industry in the world, next to the arms industry. So it raises the question, is medicine for sale? Is your doctor receiving payments from the pharmaceutical companies? Is medicine objective, independent, and trustworthy, or is it becoming tainted with its close relationship with the pharmaceutical industry? More and more people are returning to alternative medicine, healing, natural healing, and herbs, massage, food as medicine, because they don't trust medicine. You really have to question medicine. Don't make the assumption that when you're sick, you're going to get the best medicine. First do no harm is the Hippocratic oath that doctors take. So next time you're in a doctor's surgery in a hospital, look up at your doctor and ask them, are you receiving payments from the pharmaceutical companies? Or are you giving me the best medicine? Thanks for watching this video, and I hope to see you in a video very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.